Okay. Let's see. Okay. Nope, that's not gonna work. Boom, okay. Huh. Cool. All right, just wait for a minute or two.
Oh no, you froze. That means I froze.
Anyone comes.
Cool.
Let me get my headphones. Oh, look! It's Laura. I can't hear you. Hold on, let me get headphones.
Ooh, should I get headphones? I could be irresponsible. Dang, the way this lighting is set up right now. We got what we got.
Headphones!
I'm wondering if I should
all of my hairs. Hello.
You look so good.
All right, I'm just gonna turn that down.
Oh. Well, I have an outdoor voice.
Oh, you need headphones because we are echoing in a loop.
I'll be right back. Where is my phone? Oh, there. Oh, nope. Headphones are connected to my cell phone. Now I got to find that. All right. Naturally, they were right next to me. Okay. And let's see. Can you hear me? You cannot hear me.
Oh, I can.
Oh, okay.
I was just not talking because of the loop.
Fair enough, fair enough. Wait, is the loop still there?
It is still there. Why is that? Why is that happening?
So unusual. I don't normally have this problem.
Well, while we wait.
Oh, I can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? What is this, Jesus Christ?
Funny story.
What if I do? Wow.
Oh, there's such a delay on this.
Oh, my headphones.
So, okay, while we wait.
Died.
So, Liv is trying to get race
still
kits to me because I'm racing.
Oh,
next
I see your
week.
mouth moving. I see your mouth moving.
You see my mouth moving because there's a delay, but on their feed, it's much later.
Huh. Odd. I'm going to have to find another set of headphones already.
All right, I'm ready. So, yes, so Liv is trying to get race kits to me, and they've shipped them to where I currently am, but because I am leaving where I currently am and going to, we're driving to Arizona for Valley of the Sun next week, so I will be gone for the time that the delivery notice said that the kits are going to arrive. So either one of two things is going to happen. Either somehow miraculously going to get these kits to me, or I'm just going to race in the things that I have right now. But it sounds like, according to this text message, that the live warranty guy is running to catch the UPS guy because he also had something to ship. So it's beneficial for him to do this, I guess. But just the image of that is really funny to me. So hopefully he'll catch the UPS guy and they'll get the package and then they'll do it overnight and it'll get here by Friday. So we will see what happens. But yeah, they've got really cool race kits that they've designed for their athletes who are not on like the pro teams that already have their kits for their specific sponsors. And they're sending them to me so I have something to race in for Valley of the Sun. And I'm really excited about it. So hopefully that works out. But yeah, I don't know where Laura went. Oh, Laura went away. But so far, let's see, when's the last time? Okay, so the last time we did this was the previous Do Better Together in January when we spoke with Amber Pierce about the, what was it? The, not positive mindset, the growth mindset. There it was. And that was really, really good. She gave us a lot of really cool tips. If you didn't join us for that, you can find it on this YouTube channel and watch that back. It's actually really, really helpful. She gave us a lot of really amazing tips and information on how to be positive and stay positive and not stagnant in anything, including bicycles and training and goals. So I highly recommend watching that. So today we've got Laura, or
sort of. My headphones don't want to cooperate, and then my Apple headphones don't work with my MacBook, and so.
But you're not echoing anymore, so that's fine. Right. Yeah,
okay. I think we're hooray to growth mindset. Indeed,
I think we're okay. Yeah. How are you this fine evening?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to making a stew in my Instant Pot in 45 minutes. So, hooray. As in, like, it'll take 45 minutes to make the stew.
What's in the stew?
It's beef, barley, carrots, onions, potatoes, celery, and, of course, all the seasonings. So, yes.
Sweet. So I didn't really tell very many people I was doing this today. So I think this is going to be something that people end up watching after the fact, which is fine. But I guess that means we just get to talk because I don't know that we have very many people here to ask questions. And I think the folks that are here are being rather quiet. So
people?
Huh?
Shy people?
Yeah, I mean, it happens. So if you are here and you would like to ask a question, just type it in the live chat box and I would be happy to answer it. Goodbye, Andrew. Thank you for joining us. Have a safe travel, a safe commute home, a safe travel home. I know words. I know how to speak words. So yeah. What did I want to talk about? Oh, just the stuff that I've been up to. So I spoke about last time we talked about our growth mindset. And since then, I've still just been training, and I traveled to Maryland and gave a keynote at, I keep mixing them up. I went to Delaware and went to
they're all up there.
They're so close together. I went to Delaware, St. Andrew's School in Delaware, and spoke to their high school students there, and it was really cool. Like, they were super excited to meet me. Actually, apparently in the cafeteria before I got there that day, one of the students said that I was coming, and so they should not come to this keynote speech looking sloppy. And I I was amazing.
Wow.
Because that's something that someone would have probably had to say to me in high school. Like, maybe wear a decently clean shirt. A shirt learned, perhaps,
whatever,
you know, ironing is good, but if you don't get that far, just a decent shirt, just don't look sloppy. I appreciated that, but everyone's really excited. One of the girls told me my hair looks really moisturized. They all thanked me.
That is a supreme compliment.
Right? I was like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. They were all like just super encouraging and supportive and like really receptive about all of the things that I was talking about, which of course was the usual about representation, why it's important. But specifically for them, because they were in high school, like they've got this unique opportunity to like do it right from the beginning of their adulthood, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't have to like just figure it out along the way. Kind of like, here you go, here's a head start. These are all the cool things that can contribute to you being a really amazing contributor to society. And they all thanked me for not being a white guy talking about science, which I've been informed by the staff was not completely fair, because they have had their share of women and people of color come through the school to give, you know, talks and assemblies and such. So I think it's
Bill Nye frequent that school or something.
I don't think it was Bill Nye specifically. Although if Bill Nye came to my school, I would be
thoroughly impressed.
Stoked. I would be so pumped to see Bill Nye do anything. Well, not anything, but like science, you know, because he's the science guy. But I had a really good time at St. Andrews talking to the kids, and I did the keynote speech, and then I did a breakfast. And they invited everyone, but only girls showed up. And one of the faculty members pointed that out to the breakfast. Yeah, but the girls, a couple of the girls showed up, and they asked me questions, and we just talked about stuff. And that's some really, really good questions. And it's really cool to see that sort of community, because it's a boarding school. So these kids live on campus, and they don't really ever go anywhere. So they're always together. They know each other really, really well. They're basically family. But it seems like they have a very supportive staff and faculty, and that they're learning a lot of the right things, and they're on a really good track. And I'm just curious to see how that you know transitions into them exiting that basically bubble and entering the real world, where things are a little bit more complicated and not quite as sheltered. But it seems like they have a lot of the information and like resources to like work through that in a very positive manner. So
and they're really also cool. I feel that folks that are in high school right now are, in fact, they already have a leg up in that they see all the things that we done did incorrectly. And obviously each generation can at least observe what the previous generations have done. That doesn't necessarily turn into action, of course. But that said, the folks that are in high school right now, I have found that the very few that I am in contact with, those high schoolers, there are things that, you know, are full-on discussions on the internet as far as, you know, minding your P's and Q's and using respectful language and so forth, that is not even a second thought to them, because it's just commonplace. It's just like, well, duh, I'm not going to assume someone's gender. Or if I'm going to do an advertisement for a class project, I want all of my different classmates from different backgrounds to be present and so forth. So I don't know. I feel that in some ways, you know, they allow me to keep hope alive for things to actually progress in a positive way, where diversification is just, it comes as second nature for any sort of campaign.
Yeah, sounds right. I think, like, I'm trying to remember like what we had access to when we were that age, and I feel like it was kind of not the beginnings of the internet. Like the internet started before we were in high school.
Yeah, but we didn't have as much access to it. We were just getting cell phones in school at that age.
True story. And our cell phones did not have like full-on LCD screens with like
I had a sidekick, and I was like in the future. Okay.
Wait, which phone you have?
The sidekick.
What?
And the sidekick too.
Oh, with the little flip thing and the full keypad. I never had a sidekick. I had a Nokia 3390, because it was the 3360 and the 3390. It was not a flip phone. It was like
a work phone.
it was the smallest of the brick phones. So they were like getting a little sleeker and a little smaller. Okay. And they had like, you could change the cases out, but that was before you just put a case on top of the phone. Like you took the whole front of the phone and the back of the phone out and you put on a whole new,
I was always a little advanced. I had a two-way pager, and then I had a Sidekick, and then I had a Razor. I was really into technology when at that age. Like that's what I used to spend my money on. And then I got into bikes, and technology ended. I still have an iPhone 7. So yeah, that's what is it?
I mean, I didn't make it to the iPhone 7. I think I made it to iPhone 6, and then I switched over to Android. But I'm actually waiting for the Pixel 2 to come tomorrow, the Pixel 2 XL. See, what we do at our house is we wait for them to come out with the new phone, and we just get the new phone.
Exactly.
So right now they're on the Pixel 3.
For an iPhone 10 now, because I skipped the 8 and the 10 technically, and they now have the 10R and whatever. I can get a 10 now. So
there you go. So y'all have your new phones, and I'll just get the refurbished new version.
On a real steep discount.
On a real CD discount, because Aisha's not paying $1,000 for a phone. I'm not doing it.
Nah, I like to buy organic produce. So
okay, so yeah, so after St. Andrews, how
long ago was that?
So I was up there the 10th, I think, of January.
Okay,
and then we spent a week in New York after that, and it was just so cold. That's when they hit the cold snap, and it was like 4 degrees with a real feel of -17.
I call my mama. Woo! Yep. She's like, oh, I'm fine. The heat is actually too damn high, but it was like better that than too low.
I was not pleased. No, I bought a coat. I got a North Face for $25 at a thrift store. I was very excited because I wouldn't have made it if I didn't get
you all in the cold. So
I don't do well.
You don't.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then I went back to Delaware last weekend for a Black History Month celebration for the Maryland Department of Parks, I think. It's their Parks and Recreation department. They're doing every Friday. They're doing a Black History presentation.
Oh, so you were there the first of the month. Well,
I was there the first of the month. It was February 1st. No, it was February 1st.
Okay. I don't know dates anymore.
It's okay. We both work from home. Time is weird. But that was really cool. So it was a panel about transportation. And so I got to use the advocacy side of my brain.
Yay.
The transportation advocacy side of my brain. But it was 4 panelists, and 3 of them were, I'm going to say Black. I can't vouch for their specific heritage, but they were Black folks.
Okay.
And the host, the moderator, was also a Black person. And this is important. I say this because a lot of the times when they have a diversity panel, they'll have one diversity representative and feel we did that, that's good, solid. But this was a panel about Black folks that had Black folks on it, being moderated by a Black person. Go figure.
By us, but for everyone. But yes,
yeah. So that was great. It was a great experience. I was glad to be a part of it. Shout out to the folks in Montgomery County in Maryland for inviting me and for doing it right. And they had soul food as a part of this, I guess we're going to call it an assembly event program. I don't know. What do you call it when it's for adults? But I think it was geared toward the faculty and staff of the parks, not department, but whatever you call it.
I'm going with department. It sounds right to me.
Okay, let's go with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great. And the room was full and people were receptive. And they're focusing on migration stories. So a few people talked about how their families got here, or if you don't know that, just how you got to where you are now. So I talked about where I was born and then how I got to where I am now, which is back to where I was born. But whatever. What's your migration story, Laura? Do you know where your folks is from? Do you know?
I do. And my mom, I'll stick to my mom. She got here when she was 19. She actually went directly from Honduras to Brooklyn, New York, which is where I don't speak about that very often. But my mama started in Brooklyn because that's where my aunt.
Wait a minute.
You don't have from the Bronx on that fact.
Brooklyn roots.
The point is, my mother started in Brooklyn because that's where.
Oh my God.
You know, some people might not show up again if you want to dwell on the Brooklynness. The point of the story is, Mom started in Brooklyn, and then she moved to the South Bronx with her sister. Oh, my blanket. It's kind of cold. This works well. And then she moved to the South Bronx, which is where her sister was. And then she stood in the South Bronx. And then I was born. Obviously, a lot of things happened in between then because she was no longer 19. This was actually almost 20 years later. And I lived in the same neighborhood till I was 21. And then I moved to the Northeast Bronx. And then I moved to the West Coast to Portland, Oregon. Because because I remember when I moved here, before I moved here, I had told just about everyone in my life that I was moving to the West Coast, but my mother, because I anticipated that she would lose her marbles. Because I'm an only child and she had a hard enough time when I just moved out the house. So let alone moving across the country. But no, she was very much like, go forth, my child. Go west and be blessed. And I was like,
go west and be blessed. That should be a shirt.
And then when I thought about it, in retrospect, it makes sense because she moved out of her country when she was 19 years old. So
there you go.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense. I was actually a little late then.
There you go. Oh, there's a bowl of tuna salad that William brought in here for me. His theory was he like took it out of the fridge, and his theory is by the time I'm done here, it'll be room temperature and perfect for consumption.
Oh,
because you know I still can only eat soft foods.
Yes.
Oh, I had a tooth extracted 2 days ago, and so it hurts if I want to try and eat hard foods. Mm-hmm. So I've been eating a lot of eggs because they're softer. Yesterday I ate overcooked pasta because I was so hungry. I was like, I need a meal. Like I cannot live on avocados and yogurt. Like I need a meal.
You could, but you know, let's diversify the cuisine.
Yeah. So today
have you had anything stuck? Like it's been so long since I've not had a tooth.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I've been very careful. But yeah. So now I'm just prepping for Arizona next week and training and getting ready and.
Oh, that's where you're going next week.
I am, but I'm trying to do a screen share.
Where about in Arizona?
In and around Phoenix.
Okay.
So I want to do this screen share because
that is TDH, too damn hot. That is all I'm gonna say about. Actually, I'm gonna check what the weather is gonna be like. Yes.
Okay, so today SRAM announced. I know, I'm so excited. SRAM announced their Red ETAP AXS, which is their electronic shifting system with 12 speeds.
You really do.
You can't see my dance, but I'm dancing. You can see Yui though. This is Yuande Adesita, who lives in London, and she looks so good in this ad.
Heck yeah, she is. Yo, she is looking strong AF. She's climbing all of the
mountains. Looks so good. It's so good. Look, let's just.
She is in the zone.
Let's just scroll through this goodness. Look at these black legs. Look at these muscles.
That is
look at this. Oh, yes. I don't know who that is, but he looks okay too. Oh my goodness. Yes.
My good. She's putting in work. That's what it looks like when you put in work.
Oh, she looks so good. Representation. Okay.
I must say, I am so thrilled that, because for a good long while, I'll say, relatively long while, it sort of felt as if anytime there was a Black person in an ad for anything bike related, either you or I knew them personally. Or no, you and I both.
I know her personally.
Wait. You and I both knew them personally. That's where I'll start. And now this person is at least one time removed. And so I feel like we're making progress.
That is progress.
I'm like, Aisha, who this?
You ain't never met her in person.
But you know of her. You knew of her long before today.
Yes, I have met her, and I recommended her for this, and I'm really glad it worked out. And oh, she looks so good. It's so good. I'm just so excited. But of course, it couldn't be that easy. You know, it could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard, like Sister Lauren told us. Lauren Hill for the people in the back.
Lauren Hill for the,
But I'm gonna do another screen share. Which, hold on, let's get our lives together. This screen, yes. So this is a tweet from James of Cycle Tips, who apparently also constantly is known as one of the very few Asian representatives in cycling, and they often confuse him for Alan of Scratch Labs, the other Asian man in cycling.
It can only be one.
Right. But on this thread, there's a couple folks who think that that's me.
All right.
That woman right there, Yui, who looks absolutely stunning, but nothing like me.
Okay.
But is a Black woman.
I'm going to say the unpopular opinion. And admittedly, this is probably because I've seen more photos of you than most people. There's a photo of you in a Machines for Freedom kit that is very similar to this photo. And because the same color jersey. Again, I'm probably the only person that recalls this because this was years ago. Because I think those kits were lost when you moved to the West Coast.
I only had one Machines for Freedom jersey, and it was blue.
Oh wait, it wasn't the burgundy one with the dots? With the blue? Dang. I mean, besides that, when I saw the photo, I knew it couldn't be you because, well, it didn't look like you. But and then I was like, wait, who is this? Because I was excited.
Yeah, so this is the tweet from Adam where he's like, also, the number of people who immediately assumed it was I suppose, which is me, is proof of how much work there is left to do. Glad as I am for it. And I'm just going to snap for that because like
1000% absolutely. I'm so excited.
Yeah, here's the I'm regularly confused for Alan Scratch tweet. Like, y'all,
dang.
What are we doing in this world where y'all can't tell?
T-shirts made. No. But it does go to show how much work is still needed to be done.
But like
the assumption is, oh wait, there's this one Black girl. There must be her. It must be her.
But also people have confused the two of us.
Yes, and that's even more removed because at least I'm sorry, would you repeat this strong athlete's name again?
Yuande Adesina.
Yuande.
You can call her Yui. People call her Yui.
Does she like it when people call her Yui?
She calls, yes. She's, okay. Yes.
So at least you and Yui have a similar hairdo. Like, I'm going to say a relatively no, that's as far as I can get. Like that, like you have a similar hairdo and you're both on a bike. Like that's
and we Black. We different shades of Black, but I can understand that not everybody can.
Your body types are different.
They
like,
are.
The proportions are different. Like, the fact that it was someone that we knew that confused the two of us, though, like, come on.
Yeah, like, what are you doing, Jeremy Hercules?
Right. And it's like, you Black too. Like, you know, we don't all look alike. Come on.
We don't. I saw somebody post a picture of Justin Williams on their feed, and he wasn't Justin Williams. And on the picture, on his Instagram stories, he specified, "This is not me." Because this is a real problem. Wow. Like,
dang.
Like he knew, because it's happened to him before, that people were going to confuse him for that other Black guy on the bike. Because, you know, there's only the one.
Well, I've been waiting for people. Well, I guess now Sam's hair is more different than yours because she's starting her lock journey.
She is.
But
we don't look at Sam's watch journey.
Like, I wonder what those conversations are like behind people's like closed doors when they see a picture of Sam, but they might think that it was you. Like, what do they say?
People have said that to my face. Like when I did Dirty Kanza, the day before when I was
Wait, did Sam do the last Dirty Kanza or no?
No, she did the one before.
Yeah, I knew that one. I'm like, I don't think I remember.
And I did the last one.
Yeah.
She was not there. And yet, because I think she was not there, she wasn't there to be her, so I must have been.
So her. You were her representative.
I was,
but you were actually yourself.
Yes, but she looks so good, but also not like me. Like I don't look like her, and she don't look like me. We both have curly hair, but right now she's got locks.
Sam looks like Sam.
Sam looks like Sam, and I look like Aisha, and you look like Lauda, and Yui looks like Yui.
Oh, look at me making everybody's pictures. I like this.
Oh yes, Lalita Sotera. That is.
I love it.
That is Miss Lauda here, and I don't think we ever actually said who you were. I just assumed that people know who you are because you're my best friend in the whole wide world, and I talk about you all the time. But who are you? Introduce yourself.
Laura. And I live in Portland, Oregon, as I mentioned before, as part of my migration story. Part of it. And I'm a bike mechanic. I freelance primarily, and I enjoy teaching others how to work on bikes. And I look forward to seeing more people that don't look like what you're used to seeing in a service center. I look forward to that being more diversified because there's a lot of work to be done. But yeah, I look forward to being able to share the knowledge I gained. I went to UBI, the United Bicycle Institute, a couple years ago because I was a scholarship recipient, and I learned so much. And I feel that the knowledge would do better if it was out there in the world so I could share it with other folks, because sometimes we're limited on the education we have on bikes, but we enjoy having fun on them. But then if something goes wrong, it's like, what do I do now? Yeah. I'm sure that's exactly what people say. What do I, or ack.
Yeah, that's actually what I look like and sound like when I don't know how to do things. And I usually go to the internet first and assess what level of difficulty we're working with for this fix. And depending on the level of difficulty, I will attempt it myself and or take it into a shop.
See, I feel like now you're at a point where the primary reason why you would take it into a shop is if you don't have the specific tool. It's not so much the level of difficulty. It's more about, do I have a bottom bracket press? Nah.
Right. Yeah. I don't think I have that.
Let's go take this to the shop.
Yeah.
And those are expensive. So
I don't believe that is a tool that I need to possess. So
it would be so infrequently used that let someone throw one at you.
What is a bottom bracket press, Lauda?
It allows for, if you have, depending on the kind of bike you have, will determine the kind of bottom bracket you have. But like it sounds, it presses the bearings of a bottom bracket into the bicycle frame at, and of course with knowledge and so forth, you would do that at the appropriate angles and so forth, because otherwise if you get them in at the wrong angle, bad things can happen.
What bad things? Can you like crack your frame or something?
Yes, you absolutely could crack your frame.
No, Jesus, we don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that? Nah. Carbon could be repaired, but it is one of the most expensive repairs is in fact getting your bottom bracket repaired, but it can be done locally in Portland, Oregon, if you will, by very knowledgeable people. But don't do that. If you don't have because I've seen some makeshift bottom bracket presses.
Oh no, Jesus.
See, if you're the kind of person
that's extra crafty.
Yeah, that already works on things, like your way around other kinds of machines. You take things apart, you put them back together. That's your thing. Then maybe you're all right. But if you don't even plug in a toaster correctly, nah, homie, nah. And you might actually have other problems if that's an issue for you. But we're not going to discuss that at this time.
I feel like the barrier for entry for you is going to be a little lower if you can't plug in.
Why won't it?
Yeah. Flip it around. One prong is bigger than the other.
This is why I like the USB-Cs though. Is it USB-C? Yeah. The
one that's universal. You can't mess it up.
You can't get it wrong. You can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
Everything is being dumbed down.
I mean, I think everyone is also getting dumber. And so they're meeting the people where they are currently.
I would say in some capacities, because we're not using the same parts of our brains. We used to, I'm not going to try and remember who was before the Homo sapien, or I think we're Homo sapiens, but whoever
you talking about science, and Aisha shuts down when science happens.
The point is their brains were shaped differently than our brains, and they had to worry more about like being chased by, we're gonna say saber tooths, but it might be the wrong timeline. Look, I'm just saying, you don't have to worry about that. My biggest worry is this avocado ripe or not? Like, so, your brain tends to not need to use certain parts of itself anymore.
Okay, fair point. But yeah, that's what blew up my timeline today.
Heck yeah.
The SRAM stuff. And people are still talking about it. And there was a lot of like, oh, is this tokenism? And the answer is probably, but...
Well, I guess I wouldn't immediately jump on saying yes to that, because for the people in the back, tokenism is when there is the minimal appearance of an effort. Well, I want to say it's a minimum effort, but it's more of the appearance of an effort being made that there is in fact diversity, but it's not. It's really more to satisfy the top layer of naysayers. And with SRAM, I feel like, didn't you say you recommended her?
Yes. The only reason.
But I guess this is to your, like, now I'm curious, how did that conversation happen? Did they reach out and were like, do you know any great folks that don't look like middle-aged white men that we could get on?
Essentially, yes. They were.
Okay,
planning,
so they were
planning their new campaign. They were planning on how they were going to market this. I didn't know what they were planning it for, but they were marketing something. I knew that. Yeah. And they were looking for fresh faces. And they asked me for some fresh faces. Now, if you asking me for fresh faces, then I'm probably going to recommend some black and brown faces, because that's how I roll. And I think everyone knows that. I'm sure they did know that.
Well, that is intentional. So that's why I'm going to say I'm not going to immediately put it in the tokenism basket, because at a bare minimum, there was a concerted effort. It wasn't as if they went to a person that they knew would. They went to you knowing exactly what you were going to do.
Oh yeah, of course. It was on purpose. So I think the reason,
and this is this is a big campaign. This isn't like they're talking about, oh, look at this new color of
this is a full-on arm that we're making.
This is 12 speed. Like, this is a big effing deal. So yeah.
But I think for me, the reason I say it still can classify or qualify as tokenism is because I think most of these things will, because of the rarity of seeing something like that. So until there's enough saturation in the market for there to be, like, the fact that it's one of her, right? And that people can confuse her for me, who is usually the other only brown face on a road bike that people recognize. Clearly, there's a lot of tokenism that's still happening in general. So I feel like the market is not saturated enough for us to be like, yeah, representation, this is positive.
Oh, yeah, we have not, we're not done yet.
Oh God, no. This is progress.
And the fact that people are in fact confusing her for you is proof that in fact there is so much work to be done.
Oh, yes.
But I look forward to walking into a service center that does have like the SRAM banners and so forth that have Yui on them. Like, you will have a Black woman in your service center.
Yes.
Like, come on. That is.
Yes.
Because I've worked at a massive bike shop multi-million-dollar type situation, and there wasn't the only Black person was me for 5 days a week, but there wasn't nary a poster that could have even had. Actually, no. There was another person of color, and they were on the inside of Scratch Labs books. That was the only other person of color represented.
Was it Alan?
It was Alan. Yes. It was actually
not to be
Alan.
Confused
with. Oh my word! Yeah. So I look forward. Like I hope there's a hashtag. Like I want to see this moment last, and that folks will soon see it in their bike shops, because it's a part of this massive campaign, and they're taking photos and they're tagging you, and you're like, nah, homie.
That ain't me. That ain't me. I ain't her. But she is amazing, and her name is Yui, and you should know her.
Yeah. And you said she's been doing track for 2 years, is it?
Yeah, she hasn't been at it for very long, and I think she just competed in like the national something or other in the UK, and did pretty okay. I think she got a top 10 in there. So
all right.
You better work, girl. You better work.
I have no doubts.
But yeah, no, she's great. And like, you know, the SRAM folks, like, they thanked me for recommending her, and they were like, man, her pedal stroke is so smooth, and she's so good, and she's so badass. And I'm like, that's why I recommended her. And
like, you're not just
there are more people like her out there. We are not alone.
It's not like you're just throwing out names of like some Black person that happens to have a bicycle. Like, is it like
that is not what I did.
At so many levels that can be as a part of campaigns. I mean, of course, this is your platform already as far as representation and how much it matters. But it's like, y'all, you really don't know. Or for so many folks, I think about little Laura growing up in the South Bronx who didn't learn how to ride a bike till she was 17 years old, and thinking about even being an athlete of any sort, because I wasn't a dude, so basketball was out.
And is that how they rolled in the Bronx?
Well, no, but I mean like professionally. I mean, I'm only 5'3.25", so like I didn't really think there was too much hope for me in the WNBA.
So you didn't watch Love and Basketball like 11 times and decide that was gonna be you? That was just me?
Nah, she's taller than I am.
She probably taller than me. I'm only 5. You're taller than me. My leg is a quarter inch. Yes. But I've always dreamed big.
I mean, not mine. I feel a lot taller. It's not until I'm in a photograph with taller people that I'm like, that's it? That's how big I show up in photos? I mean, I feel taller. But all of that is to say, like, if, you know, I remember watching the Olympics and watching like Dominique Dawes and watching these, I forget the name of the ice skater I used to see. But
is it like Donnelly something? Bonnelly?
I don't recall. The point is, whenever she was doing whatever she was doing,
the little flip kick thing that looked like it was from that Blades of Glory movie.
Jumping on my couch thinking I was doing the same thing, and I, you know, like let a little girl dream. Let a little girl dream and actually see it as a possibility. I mean, I actually didn't actually care for skating, but I knew that if I wanted to, I could.
Right?
It's just possibilities.
And that's the whole point. It's not so much that we think everybody should want to do it.
No.
We think everybody should think they can if they wanted to.
Like, let it be an option.
A choice.
Exactly. Increase the number of choices and possibilities that you have. And
that's all I'm asking.
Yeah, sometimes it can be really difficult to see beyond the courtyard that you see every single day looking out from your apartment window. And it's like,
you speaking from experience, Laura?
I am not, simply because my mother made it a priority to make sure that she allowed me to go to school an hour away in downtown Manhattan. I lived in the South Bronx. My school was on 15th and 1st Avenue. Like right by
That's very far in New York terms. Very far,
very far. I went from, so I was going from one county to another county for the people in the different parts of the world that may not know how the 5 boroughs work. And even before high school, my extracurricular activities, with exception of the like 3-week stint in the Girl Scouts, everything else was downtown, like Columbus Circle. It was always outside of the neighborhood because
I love that Columbus Circle is downtown. You look so far up.
It's downtown. It was in the city. Like, she made sure that everything I did was in the city so that I knew that the world was a lot bigger than the block that we lived on.
And for some perspective, I worked in Brooklyn with the youths in Brooklyn. I worked at the preschool, but I also worked with the after school kids, which ranged from like elementary through high school age. And a lot of those kids never left Brooklyn. Like, they never even went to Manhattan or Queens. Yep. Ever. Not ever.
And a lot of those kids, because of the proximity of where you were to Manhattan, the island, clearly could even see the skyline.
Yeah, they could see it. They just never been there.
But they had never said, and I say this because when I used to be a youth and family coordinator for the YMCA, I used to oversee a junior Knicks program, basketball. Did you just see my terrible form? This is why I didn't make it.
Ball is life.
But so many of them who lived in the super duper South Bronx, like adjacent to the bridges, had never been to Madison Square Garden because a few of them had the opportunity to go to see the Knicks, play and get on the court during halftime and so forth, and had never even just walked across the bridge into Manhattan. Like, all of this, again, is to say you just want to open people's possibilities so that it's not just what they have in their physical surrounding. And television was also a big part of that for me. Television was a big part of my upbringing because English is my second language, and my mother wanted to make sure before I even got into kindergarten, first grade, that I wouldn't have to be put in ESL classes because she had it in her mind that I would get a lesser quality education, which was likely very much the case.
Did you avoid ESL?
I did avoid ESL.
I had a friend who they put in ESL, and English was his first language, but he was Chinese, and I think they assumed he didn't speak because he just didn't talk very much.
This is why Mama was like, "You're gonna watch the news all the time." So I was watching the news.
Mess.
So little 4-year-old Laura went into school knowing how to read and write and all that jazz.
She sounds exactly like she does now.
Exactly. I articulated myself in that way. I remember my kindergarten teacher, Miss Harrigan. She was very impressed with me. Very impressed. But yeah, anyway. Seeing you, seeing Yui, seeing whoever that black dude was on Cannondale's campaign.
Okay, yeah, all right.
The fact that I don't
just got all these black folks on SRAM. What is happening with the E-TAP? With the E-TAP and the black folks? I'm loving this.
Yes. The fact that I don't know who he is brings me so much
I have no idea who he is. So there's a black person that neither of us know. Yes, Lord, it is happening.
Progress.
Yes. It is happening.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, but it's been hard work, and you are at the forefront of that. And it's just like, heck yeah. The goal is, or a part of that goal is, let's put more people on. Like,
yeah, right?
Come on, son.
And the thing is, I think the thing that's exciting to me is that seeing Yui in that ad does not take anything away from them trying to sell electronic shifting to folks.
Absolutely
right?
Not.
Like,
all things can, these things are not mutually exclusive. Like,
no, and that's the point. Like, why y'all take so long to figure this out?
Like, is there a fear that having melanated skin on a campaign is going to take away from the technology behind it?
Well, there are product studies that say, like, I always use the yogurt example, and I don't know why, but like if you're like holding a product if you have a black hand holding a product as opposed to a white hand holding a product, that it will be a less successful campaign. Aisha,
they only had to ask anybody that looks like the person that has a black hand. We know this. This is a country where this is one of the things that's always stuck with me, because I have dated people of different racial and ethnic backgrounds and ethnical. That ain't a word, y'all. And of different cultures. And one of the distinct differences, and I will say this does not apply to my current relationship. Let's make that very clear. But there was this one relationship where I learned that hygiene and the standards can be very different between people that look like us and white folks. And just even thinking about why that is, and it's in large part because if you're Black, you're dirty. At least there was a point in history when this was the case. And so if you're a Black person, you have to make the extra effort to make sure you are in fact anything but. We be the freshest mofos in any spot. You just go into the grocery store and you fresh, got your eyebrows done and all that, because the last thing I need is for you to think of me as some sort of filthy anything, because historically speaking, you're a Black person, you're less than. You're dirty, you're a monkey, you're savage like.
I wish you were making this up.
And so when someone sees a Black hand versus a white, I don't know, I was about to throw my other hand, but both of my hands are Black. When someone sees a Black hand touching that, holding that product, you don't see Cartier, showing their love bracelet, which is, I think, like, well, depending on if you get the diamonds in it, luxury jewelry, being displayed with Black people. No, that's not something that you're going to see in the near future. And Tiffany's, don't even get me talking about Tiffany's. All I'm going to say about that is that at one point they used to sell slave cuffs. That's all I'm going to say about that. So we don't support Tiffany's. All that is to say, there is an association with, if you're Black, you're less than. So of course, if you do a campaign with Black people, there's a nice chunk of the country. Think about the number 1 radio show in the country. It is, what is it, Rush Limbaugh, or however you pronounce this?
Yeah, with the A-U-G-H, Limbaugh.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Limbaugh.
He don't deserve us knowing how to say his name correctly anyway.
I'm not asking. That's the number 1 radio show in this country. So if that's what folks are, if that's what most folks who listen to radio, because you also have to listen to radio, are listening to, then don't be surprised. Of course, I'm not directing that at you, but don't be surprised when most of the country would prefer to see a white hand touch something than a Black hand. If you just see who is consuming what media, or what media is being mostly consumed, that'll let you know what people prefer to see.
Oh, but you can waste your money on a study, though. Please, by all means.
Just call me. Call out and be like, can I just ask you a question? You can be your 1-person study. Let me call her in it, though, so you can have 2-person study. So you can say there were multiple people that you surveyed. Multiple people were surveyed, and the findings are, anyhow, it's so frustrating. And so I'm excited that SRAM was willing to take the risk.
Yeah, because honestly, it is a risk. Because ain't nobody else doing it. So if it wasn't a risk, everybody would be doing it, correct?
If it wasn't a risk, it's not the status quo. So breaking the status quo takes effort. And folks like convenience. They like what's easy. And what's easy is to copy paste the last campaign. And that was likely a middle-aged white man or a younger white man. No shit. I'm not ageist, but the point is, it was likely a white man.
But we're just going to look at this one more time.
Yes.
There's 5 folks here. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, the time to ask is now, because we're going to wrap it up real soon.
I'm about to make a stew in my Instant Pot, my beef stew with barley.
That sounds soft. I think I could eat that. But I don't eat meat. So it would have to be like a non-beef stew.
Yeah, it would just be a vegetable.
But let's just look at how great Yui looks. Let's just look how great she looks. Look at her.
So the funny thing is, of course, I'm training for something, and I'm just like, goals.
Are you allowed to tell us what you're training for?
I don't know. So I'm gonna say
okay. No. Then keep it to yourself.
I'm gonna keep it to myself for now. So, but the point is, goals. You don't get to be as strong as she is while sitting on the couch eating cinnamon rolls.
No, that's not the couch training plan. That's not the next Netflix and chill plan.
No. That ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it.
She used to be a rower.
Wow.
Which is another, not a whole lot of Black folks in that kind of sport.
I mean,
but she's strong as hell. She is strong.
I'm so proud. And to whoever did the styling for this, they did an A1 job. I appreciate the complementary colors. I like the color blocking that was used.
Tell me why the Twitter
complimented, like there's so much goodness in this campaign. So they have a picture with us seeing her natural hair. They did it to the side because you know how we feel about, like, not we, but like a person might feel if you can't see any of their hair.
She looks so good.
Yes, let that 4C, 4B pop through. Yes, girl. Yes.
But yeah, people on Twitter were complaining about her socks and her helmet and her jerk. Like, they didn't like the colors. I think the colors are great.
They're complementary colors. Get you some style, boo. Get you a color.
I think she looks fantastic, and none of y'all know what you're talking about. So go sit down because nobody asked you. And if they did, then nobody asked them to ask you.
And furthermore, if what they're discussing
is your outfit, like what?
Like, are you for serious right now? Because this isn't a conversation about whether
somebody else is discussing her body fat percentage. I am not even kidding. Oh, I knew she wasn't pro because of her body fat. Like, you got a scale,
and the way her body is set up and the way your body is set, like, my body will never look like her body, but that's just because the way my body is set up.
Not to mention, why does that matter?
Furthermore, it's not like we're having a conversation about whether or not she's even an athlete on the bike, because I feel the valid conversation when it's just like they're throwing sex on a bike, if you will. That is not what's happening here. This is an athlete on a bike, and she does this often, y'all. Like,
she does this. Oh, I'm gonna show you. Actually, on Yui's feed, she posted a video.
Oh, I watched it. I liked it.
This is her Instagram, so you can go be her friend. You can be her friend on the Instagrams. But, like, I just want everybody.
See, here I am again. Like my Lalita Sotera.
But look at that pedal stroke. Oh, this is the thing of dreams, folks.
This is what we sit back and drool at. That's awesome. It's like, look at
I will always support. But
look, some cookies though. See, I like her feed.
This is Yui doing her thing. Look. Just look at her.
Get it.
And then this is Yui being a student because she's still in school, I think. Okay. And so
she's in Dublin, or is that like a conference in Dublin?
I think she was in a conference in Dublin, but she lives in the UK. Is my understanding.
Conference of Biomechanics. She's doing all of the things.
Yeah, she is
breaking all of the barriers.
Fantastic.
Across the pond. Hell yeah. I appreciate it.
Sweet. So I don't see any questions. Do you have anything you want to say before we go, Miss Louder Solis?
I hope your dinner is as tasty as mine is. Although
this tuna salad that is now going to be perfectly
at the right temperature. Do you put any paprika in your tuna salad?
See, I don't know if I have any paprika. I put chili powder in there because that was the red spice that was nearby. But a part of the post-surgical care instructions said that I couldn't make my food spicy, so I only put a little bit of chili powder, but I need some flavor. I can't eat no unseasoned food.
Wait. So they said you couldn't eat spicy food.
I cannot eat spicy food.
You still put a bit of chili powder.
It ain't spicy. It's just seasoned.
Aisha, you know what they meant. You know what they meant.
Yeah, I went wrong when I used the salt and pepper. I understand, but I can't.
I mean, I don't blame you. It's like you told me of someone that was eating avocados without putting any salt on it, no seasoning on the avocado, like just straight up avocado. Like, anyhow,
that is not the way.
You will leave people to their bland avocado ways. And
I will not be participating.
Rejoice in seeing Yui on this incredible campaign with SRAM. Like, hopefully this allows for other companies to be like, oh, wait a minute, we need to be doing this. Do that.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, that's what
You can reach out to Aisha. She got like a phone book of Black folk. I'm just saying. You should reach out to Aisha.
Yeah, and if you would like to be in the phone book, also.
Absolutely. Slide in Aisha's DMs.
Just
comment on a photo.
Because I get requests, and I like to pass those requests along. I sure do.
All righty. Well, enjoy your room temperature tuna salad.
Enjoy that beef stew. Bye.
Bye.